This is my camera. Let me know when you're ready.
This is mine.
2,
Call me.
1.
Hey guys, Dr. Wilton Triggs here. Welcome to Triggs Table Talk. And today I have an extraordinary guest. Extraordinary. Girl boss, CEO, and physician, board certified family medicine doctor, Dr. Tisha Rowe, who also is the owner operator of the Honeycomb Clinic in Houston, Texas. Also the CEO and founder of Boss Doctors Conference here in Miami, Florida. So Tisha, thank you for joining Triggs Table Talks.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. I feel like I didn't give her introduction enough due because she just does so many things. Mom, social advocate. She does everything. And we're going to find out all that here today on Triggs Table Talk. And remember to like, click, subscribe, share this because it's going to be a truly informational and motivational video that you really want to get out there, especially for young Black females that are trying to figure out what they want to do in life or that already know what they want to do in life, especially in medicine and want to transition into something more. I think this is the perfect episode for them, even for myself, because I know I have a lot of questions for you. So starting there. So how did you get started, Tisha?
So,
just from the beginning, the grassroots.
Well, I will start with why I became a doctor.
Right.
Because when we say, how did you get started? The first step is medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I often will say I'm a doctor, a businesswoman that went to medical school,
Mm-hmm.
not a doctor that went to business school,
Right.
because I always had an entrepreneurial heart. But my family is Jamaican, and Jamaicans, Nigerians, you all know, your parents want you to be a doctor,
Yeah.
a lawyer. And my mom always said, I always wanted to be a doctor, and I've wanted to be a doctor as long as I can remember. But really, for me, going into medicine was finding a way to help and inspire other people. And that's what I'm doing now. So that's really how I ended up going into medicine.
Okay. What's something people assume about you as a physician that's completely off?
Oh my God. I feel like there's so many things people assume about doctors.
Mhm.
My friends will tell you, they'll introduce me and they'll be like, she's not like any other doctor. I think people think that we're stiff,
Yeah.
uptight, not relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that's on us because so many doctors do carry themselves that way because we're led to believe if you don't, you're not going to get into medical school. You're not going to get into residency.
Right.
You're not going to get a job. So at every point in your career, you're tiptoeing on eggshells to be this perfect version of yourself to attain what you dream of. And
Right.
so very early on, I decided to be authentically myself because I wanted, like you said, younger women to see me and think, okay, Tisha has a bust down. Tisha wears her nails how she wants. Tisha is flashy.
Right.
I want to change that narrative of what a doctor looks like.
Right. Okay. All right. And so because I know you have your MBA. So when did the MBA come into part? When did you start embracing your entrepreneurial spirit at that point?
So it first started in undergrad, and I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I really don't think I want to do this doctor thing. I'm going to major in business. And she lost it.
Mhm.
She hit
What
the
year?
fan.
What year in undergrad were you in at this
I
point?
was probably second year. I don't
Okay.
remember, but I quickly backpedaled. I was like, never mind. I don't want to feel her wrath. And so I quietly applied to business school combined with medicine.
Mhm.
So I got accepted to do an MD MBA
Okay.
at Temple. And I got to Temple and I was like, if I stop, because the program was set up such that you do 2 years of medicine,
Mm-hmm.
go to business school, and then come back. I was like, I will never come back. If
Right.
I stop
Mhm.
now, there's no coming back. So then I applied to an MBA family medicine residency.
Right.
And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And so I always knew I wanted to go into business. I was just very fearful of my mother's reaction of me pursuing my dreams. And I think a lot of people live in that fear and need for acceptance and approval. And once I let that go, then I really could thrive and pursue both.
Right. And so when was it when you were in practice and you decided to really start embracing the business sense, or did you straight out of residency start jumping into it?
So to come full circle, I had this idea that I wanted to be in business. I wanted to be a boss. And then residency really will wear you out. And by the end of residency, I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to be somebody's cute wife and work part-time. Like
Right.
seriously, we were having the discussion, okay, I'm not doing this full time. And then I had this dream job in mind that I was going to get. And the crazy part is I had the job. I was on the schedule.
Right.
And then who was my program director, but was about to become my real boss, he pulled me in the office and he was like, they're not keeping you. And it was the first time in the residency program I knew of that they had not taken a resident and hired them after. And it was a business decision because they had just lost the contract with Aetna. And they were like, Aetna is 20% of our patient base. We don't know what's going to happen moving forward. We can't hire you. And that forced me to just find any job I could find. I have loans to pay. I have to get out of here. I got an urgent care job and I loved it. I would probably still be working there today if things had gone the way. I pretty much just kind of not been thinking about the business thing anymore. But I found in my first job, I wanted to solve more problems than they wanted me to solve. They were like, just do your job. Like, just see
You're doing
patients.
too much.
I'm like, exactly. But I'm like, but this, like, we could be doing this. And that's what pushed me into entrepreneurship because I was like, I can do this better than they're doing it. So why am I not doing it when I have an MBA?
All right. So what was so how did Honeycomb come about?
Oh my God. So if you've never heard, I'm big on books. I love reading. The book Failing Up, right? So Honeycomb really came out of my first business, which was called first Click It Clinic, then Rodocs. I actually had to close my practice the year I made the most money I've ever made, which is wild.
Yeah, so how did that happen?
Right, wild, because I was renting space from a hospital that went bankrupt. The height of COVID, I'm seeing, like, no exaggeration, 100 patients a day. I have 12 staff members, and we show up and the hospital's closed. There is a letter on the door. You all have been evicted. I'm calling the CEO, like, where's Steven?
Yeah.
Where's Steven? Steven has another job.
Right.
Steven told no one the hospital was closing. And at that point, I was
crazy.
like, oh my God, what am I going to do next? You can't practice medicine without a place to practice.
Right.
And so I could have found another place, rented another place, but I stopped, I paused, and I was like, reset. Do you want to continue doing this or do you want to do something else? And when I was displaced, 5 other doctors were displaced with me, and we all had to figure out a place to go. And I was like, I really want to do co-working. I want to do something where doctors can work together. And when people ask me, why is it called Honeycomb? I say, look at a honeycomb. It's a set of hexagonal units. And the only strength comes from the fact that they're connected. Right. So how do we as physicians maintain our independence, but still build on the strength of our connections? And Honeycomb was born. I started looking for a place, and within 18 months of the hospital closing, I had started a new business, opened, and it was all about collaboration versus me being a solo practice.
Right. And what year was that?
That was 2022. So we're going into the year 3.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So what did you do within that 18 months from the hospital closing until Honeycomb was up and running?
So I thankfully had enough reserves that I didn't have to figure out and find a job. I found the real estate. I actually founded Honeycomb Clinic in 2021. So I founded it the same year the hospital closed, and wrote my business plan and started recruiting investors. So that really was a year of investor recruitment. Raised $750,000.
Okay.
Utilized that to start the new company. So it was just a year of building, recruiting investors, renovating a property. So I was the project manager. So just took that year and rebuilt.
Right. And so how was it recruiting investors? I know that had to have been crazy.
So,
or did you feel like your MBA kind of prepared you from that standpoint?
Nothing prepares you for asking people for money, especially if you're a Black person. And I'm serious. I know there are people that out here that's what they do, but especially being from a Caribbean background, it's just something that's frowned upon. You're supposed to be self-sufficient. You're supposed to get things done on your own.
Right.
You don't ask for help, and you definitely don't ask for money. But then I study people who are what I want to be.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, most of the examples are white men.
Mhm.
And 98% of venture capital is raised by white men. And
Right.
I started reading books about startups and venture capital. And people will tell you, well, you need to like make this amount of money before. But I'm like, no, they all seem to be raising money
Mhm.
before they open the business. So
Right.
why are we waiting 2-3 years in
Exactly.
when it's like, oh, well, you haven't made enough money? So for me, it was hard. It wasn't something that came naturally, but I studied other successful startups. And I'm like, this is what you have to do. You have to go beyond that fear, that comfort, what you're taught. If you want to be different, do something different.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so, if you could go back and talk to Residency Row, what would you tell her in regards to all this?
I would say it's all going to work out. And it's something that I still tell myself today because people see entrepreneurship, they see the things we post,
Mhm.
they don't see a lot of the obstacles. And I think, I spent a lot of residency and time before residency wondering how my life was going to turn out.
Mhm.
Like, when am I going to have this? When am I going to do that? And so I would just tell her, chill.
Mhm.
It's going to all work out. Keep doing what you do. Work hard, stay authentic, and it's all going to work out.
Oh, perfect. So if you like this type of information, remember to click like, subscribe, share this story. I'm telling you, like we're just getting into the nitty gritty. We're only scratching the surface right now. So remember to take that time and look at it. And also remember, I am a plastic surgeon. We do have bills to pay. Remember, your consultation is completely free. So click the link for your free consultation. Well, welcome back. I'm here with Dr. Tisha Rowe, owner, operator of the Honeycomb Clinic, also owner, operator, CEO of Boss Doctors. Let's jump into that. So what was the origination of Boss Doctors? How'd that come about?
Absolutely. So Boss Doctors came about from people constantly DMing me, constantly messaging me, Tisha, I want to do what you're doing. I want to be like you. Like, can I have advice? Can you be my mentor? And as you know, time is money.
Right.
So I have a very altruistic spirit. I love helping people. Honestly, if I could do that all day, that's all I would do. But I didn't have enough time. So I had to create events where I could connect with people. And that was the birth of Boss Doctors. Like, hey guys, I know you have all these questions. I can't be everything to everyone, but once a year I can make myself available to you. I can open my, contacts to you. You can network with the people I do business with and then take it from there.
Right. Now I know my wealth advisor was there, and of course Jeeden. Shout out to Jeeden. Was almost emceeing it, but he said he had an incredible time. He met like some incredible doctors, and he can't wait to hopefully come back again. And hopefully I'll be there next year. I was supposed to be there
Yes.
this year, but I had the twins that weekend.
Yes.
But no, I'm super excited. I heard nothing but good things. My boy Talo was the speaker there, and
Yeah.
no, that's super
Talo
dope.
and I go with
And how much work does it take to put on something like
It
that?
takes a ton of work. So we're actually working on Boss Doctors for next year right now.
Right.
Conference planning is year round.
Okay.
And I was very fortunate in that I'm very active in organizations out in medicine and outside. So
Right.
I've helped other organizations, Black MBA, NMA, been on planning committees, like served in chair roles of these events. But it's an all year process. So
Mhm.
oftentimes people will see it like, I'll make it next year, but there's a ton of work. I have a full-time assistant that is
Mhm.
Boss Doctors year round.
Okay.
Like, they only work on that.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
dope. And how helpful has the University of Miami been with that? Because I know that's usually where it's at.
Yes, so the University of Miami, my alma mater, go the U. They're extremely helpful. So working with UM was amazing,
Mhm.
start to finish. Definitely, we want next year to tap in more to the med students, the residents. That was the biggest challenge.
Right.
Working with the university was amazing, but getting the word out to students, faculty, so that they know this is taking place and this is an amazing opportunity. That's our challenge for next year.
So how do you integrate that with the Honeycomb Clinic, or do you just keep that as two distinct situations?
They're two separate entities. I actually have my own nonprofit, and
Mhm.
Boss Doctors is educational, so that
Okay.
falls under the nonprofit piece. But every year, Honeycomb is a sponsor.
Okay.
So there's always a gap between registrations and what you need. And so I step in, sponsor my own event so
Mhm.
that we can have an amazing experience for everyone. So Honeycomb is a sponsor, so it is an alignment. But Boss Doctors is its own entity, its own beast.
So what's the big goal for Boss Doctors over the next 5 years?
I think continuing to grow the attendance, but staying consistent with the quality.
Okay.
Because I go to NMA every year. Shout out to NMA, oldest Black physician organization. But when I'm there,
I'm actually going this year.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm finally going.
I will be there in Chicago, but it's amazing for the clinical and we need the business side. So I want Boss Doctors to be the NMA, the AMA for the business of medicine.
Okay.
So, look at organizations like Afrotech, how they started off, 600, now at 30,000. There are a million physicians practicing in the United States, and we all should be business savvy. We're all business owners technically of ourselves. And so I want it to be the premier conference that physicians who want to be business minded or investors to come to.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Well, I think that's a good segue to go into the next part of this program, which I was unaware of, is that I was going to be interviewed at some point. I thought it was my show, but all right. I guess let you take it away.
Thank you. Because I feel like there's so much that we want to know about Dr. Triggs. So we know that you are amazing father, love the twins, amazing plastic surgeon. I'm going to start with the easy question. Can you tell us the difference between a cosmetic surgeon and a plastic surgeon? This one wasn't on the list, Amber. This is off top because I, as a physician, see what's out there, and I don't think the general public really knows the difference. So if I look for a surgeon, I am looking at where they went to school. So what's the difference?
Yeah. So I think from I don't think there's like a formal way of putting it, but for how I would like to express it is that a plastic surgeon is someone that underwent training that was deemed by the American Board of Plastic Surgery. And then a cosmetic surgeon is someone that probably did another specialty outside of surgery, whether that's they were a dentist or, they did OB-GYN or family medicine, and then did like a fellowship in cosmetic surgery afterwards, where it's like a year to 2 years, and they just followed another cosmetic surgeon and learned how to do cosmetic procedures. As a plastic surgeon, I do reconstruction, burn, microsurgery, all the facets of plastic surgery there are outside of aesthetics. Aesthetics is just one part of the ladder, of a multi-rung ladder. So that is my definition of the difference between a cosmetic surgeon and a plastic surgeon.
And he's being humble, y'all. Did you hear dentists in there? And I really saw that. I was researching surgeons. And I was like, dental school?
Yeah.
I was confused.
Yeah.
But, to each its own, but definitely think plastic surgeons deserve the credit, especially when you just see BBL. Right. They don't really understand the depth. Okay. So medicine, you're amazing. And we all have, much respect for you. I want to know, what is it like dating Dr. Triggs?
What?
He choked. Let me ease it up for you. What's the best part about dating Dr. Triggs?
I feel like I like to eat, and so we're going out to eat. We're gonna eat somewhere good. I feel like if you don't trust me with anything else, you can trust me about where we're gonna go eat at, because I'm a true foodie. And I mean, and not necessarily just high end spots. I like little hole in the wall places too. I mean, I wouldn't take you there first. The hole in walls are the secret places. But somewhere nice that has good food, the vibes. I'm very into aesthetics and actually having a good meal at the same time too.
Okay.
So I feel like that's one of my best qualities in dating me.
Okay, foodie. And I heard on the last episode with Dr. Cannon, he can actually cook as well.
Yep.
What's the worst part about dating Dr. Triggs?
Oh man. Man, I'm busy. I am busy to the point where everything goes through Amber. Like I was telling you earlier, she has my location, one of 2 people, and the other person being my cousin. And I just feel like everything has a priority. And so right now that's like lower priority. So my twins are first, then work, and then my family or whatnot. So it's like you have to like just kind of get in where you fit in. And I know a lot of people don't like that. So
Okay, ladies, just don't say I never gave you anything. Okay, a few little tips there. And in that line with priorities, what
mhm.
does success look like for Dr. Triggs 10 years from now?
Success for me is having the freedom in my schedule to spend more time with my family, and when I say my family, my children, and my extended family, my friends, and then like I still like to work. I love business. I love money. I love learning about it. I love to operate. So basically, having the freedom to when I want to operate, I'm operating. When I
Hmm.
don't want to operate, I can shut it down for a month or a couple of weeks. I
Yeah.
know they don't Amber doesn't want to hear this. Shut it down for like a month or two and then come back. But basically, just having the freedom to do everything that my heart's desire, and especially taking care of my family. So that's what I'm working on. That's why I work so hard
I
now.
love it. And Amber, we will keep you employed even when Dr. Triggs
She
is.
knows that. She's not worried about it. She knows that.
And then speaking of time with family, like we all know you as like Dr. Triggs Miami.
Yeah, yeah.
Is Dr. Triggs bigger than Miami? Is this forever home or is there another chapter?
So the plan, yeah, is to put down roots here in Miami for
Okay.
sure. When I moved down here, it's always been like, yeah, I think this is going to be the place where I like put down roots, like eventually try to convince some of my family members to move down here. But yeah, the plan is to put down roots. However, I am an equal operator. I will pull the stakes up and move if I need to. But yeah, for the most part, as I see it right now, I have no plans of leaving. Like this is home. So that's why I've been getting more involved in the community, like
Awesome.
working with nonprofits like Urban Golf, developing my own nonprofit, getting to learn like a lot of the city leadership, even not even in my own little community, but in like Miami Gardens,
Mhm.
and working with Sherwin, one of the state senators, like getting involved from that standpoint too. Yeah,
Awesome. We
yeah,
love that. We love to see the work. We've been trying to recruit him to Houston, guys, but for
yeah,
now, you just gotta keep
yeah.
flying
Because
to my.
I got a lot of family out there. My dad lives out there. He's trying to recruit me to Houston.
Listen, Dad, let's have a conversation. But no, so going back to the medical side, obviously we're both physicians.
Right.
Do you operate on physicians, and how is that having a colleague as a patient?
So I have operated on physicians, and even physicians I didn't even know. They just came in, and actually, it's been fun. I don't think I've had any issues with a lot of my like professional clients. I think the problems run in with people that don't really truly grasp the post-op care
Hmm.
aspect of surgery, especially like the BBLs and liposuction. Because I feel like with tummy tucks, the breast lifts, breast augs, it's like you're cutting and it's pretty much done. You just be cool, let everything heal. With those, it's intensive. You need to get massages. You got to wear the garment. It's a lot more aftercare, and so that's where if you're not a really disciplined person to start off with,
Yeah.
those are the patients that kind of give you a little bit of a problem. And mostly it's not really like a health problem. It's more like from an aesthetics results problem. Like, oh, you got to get these massages, but they hurt, but you got to get them. Like,
Yeah.
So I haven't had any issues with any doctors for sure. Sometimes like the people that have had surgery before think they know it all. I'm like, no, this is how I do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you don't have to get. And I this was like a week ago. You don't have to get surgery by me, but
Yeah.
this is how I get down. Like
Yeah.
this is what I want done because I'm trying to keep you safe and I'm trying to keep my license out of jeopardy. So
Yeah, I do find that with certain patients, they'll come like my old doctor, and I'm
yeah.
like, you can go back.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I said. This is like literally a week ago. I was like, well, this is how I do it.
Mhm.
That no disrespect to them, but I'm trying to keep you safe. And this is what, I'm a little bit more stringent on stuff for sure.
So operating on colleagues, they say doctors are the worst patients, but
Hmm.
Dr. Triggs seems
Yeah, yeah, they've been
to be
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
My next question is, obviously there are personal and professional boundaries,
Hmm.
but have you ever gifted surgery, and would you gift surgery?
Have I gifted
You see
surgery?
how he's pausing? She remember.
I encourage surgery
No,
if
that
that's
not
if that's something you want.
Dr. Triggs, that was not the question. The question is, have you gifted surgery to anyone?
Ah, man.
Told y'all we were
When
going
you
to
say
start
what do you
easy.
mean by
I
gifted
mean,
surgery?
like, this is a gift from Dr. Triggs to someone. Now, whether you paid for it or did it yourself, that's not my business. Have you gifted surgery?
Yeah, I've gifted surgery
Okay.
before. I have never been asked that before out of all these podcasts.
I told you I'm not your average doctor, so you should have known that you weren't going to get the easy questions.
Yeah, you got me.
All right, last question, because I've kept them in the hot seat way too long,
It's starting to get
guys.
warm.
All right. Are you a boob man or a butt man? I don't know if we can say the other word on YouTube. Boobs or butt? We know what you like to perform, but what do you like to see?
I would say my natural reaction is to, the hip and gluteal area.
I see.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, ladies.
Yo,
Dr. Triggs,
turning red
uncut.
Finally someone got me. Somebody got me. Man, I can't even work the iPad no more. All right, with that being said, remember, if you like this type of content, click like, subscribe. Welcome to Triggs Table Talks. We're sitting here with Dr. Tisha Rowe, owner and operator of the Honeycomb Clinic in Houston, Texas, as well as CEO and founder of the Boss Doctors Convention. And she just got done grilling the heck out of me. And so it's back on me again. Yeah. So, switching up back to the professional side of things, when you're talking to other physicians in your consulting forum, or you're being a consultant, what is like one of the number one mistakes that you see them making in terms of trying to scale their practice or trying to become more business savvy into their own practice versus just being a technician?
The number one mistake I think physicians make when trying to scale, and just entrepreneurs in general, is avoiding debt. So you need money to make money, right? And we come out of med school with all these loans. So you're thinking, I'm just going to work 2 or 3 locums jobs. I'm going to use all of my savings. But here's the thing, guys. Banks love to give you money when you don't need it.
Right.
And if you're trying to scale your business and you're using all of your own money, and then when you run out of money, you have 2 options. Close your business or go to a bank for a loan. Well, now they don't want to loan you any money because you don't have any. And if you had taken out a business line of credit or gotten a loan, even though if you think you don't need it, take it out. And I mean 50 to 100K, you should have enough to operate your business for 3 months and to pay yourself. Because when we try to do everything on our own, then you think, okay, I'll just be on the ramen budget. I won't have any money. And that's what makes people hop ship and go back to employment, because now you're broke. And who wants to be broke?
Yeah, I know that's right. Me. If you could give like a checklist, what should doctors in private practice kind of revisit quarterly in terms of their business?
Absolutely. Finances. We weren't taught finance, and I can't emphasize enough. I'm so grateful for my MBA, but you don't need an MBA. There's so many different courses you can take. Like YouTube is just a wealth of information out there, but you have to learn how to read a profit and loss. You have to know the numbers. You cannot just hire people to do things and not understand it yourself. Like, you have to know what's going on. So checklists, you have to be looking at your financials. He said quarterly, but really that's like at least monthly. You need to be looking at what's your burn rate? Like, how much do you have to go forward? One of the things I know I skipped in the beginning, but look at employee satisfaction. Like, are you creating a culture where people are happy to work for you? That might seem like one of those fluff numbers, or fluff KPIs, but when you do it, then you can make sure you have the right team around you. And then just do your own compliance checks, because it's so much more costly to get out of an issue than to avoid issues. So make sure that everything's tight in terms of like legal stuff, looking over all of that. So I definitely think those are 3 things that quarterly: know where your money is, know how your team is doing, and make sure that you're compliant with everything.
And when you say compliant, do you include like meeting with your CPA and like estimated taxes and stuff like that?
So compliant, I'm thinking more about the for healthcare, cyber security, but I would put the CPA part in the first part about finances, because you should have a CPA. You definitely should be reviewing your financials with them regularly, but that would be in like the first bucket of reviewing your financials.
All right. So, we're going to dive into your personal life a little bit. One thing I meant to say in your intro is that you are a fitness enthusiast. I know you've done like
Yes.
multiple like programs through Honeycomb.
Hmm.
I know you're also a new golf enthusiast.
Yes.
Thank you for your support with Urban Golf.
Yes, I love
Everybody
it.
should check out Urban Golf Weekend. Shout out
Yes.
to Cliff and Remy, the founders. So, how do you're a physician, you're a speaker, you're an entrepreneur, you're a mom. How do you keep your cup full and keep from burning out? Because
You,
that's probably the biggest epidemic, at least in Western American medicine, is the
yeah.
burnout right now.
For me, I live by this mantra that like you can do a lot of things well, but not at the same time,
Right.
right? So, I like to balance certain things for certain days. There's days where I'm like the best CEO,
Hmm.
right? The best doctor. But when I turn off that computer, like, don't contact me. I have
Right.
friends who are my patients, and I kid you not, someone texts me at 5 a.m. Hey, doc, I was like, no.
What's going on here?
You know?
What you
And
doing?
so drawing boundaries and then having days where I just completely unplug. So
Mhm.
I will tell Chase, like, hey, mommy has to work for 2 hours tonight. But then when I'm off, like when we're in Hawaii or
Mhm.
wherever we're going, like, and we're doing something, I have enough people around me that I've delegated enough of my life that I can just focus on fun.
Right.
And so I love, like, when I say I'm not your average doctor, like, I love to have fun. So
Mhm.
I'm the one that's planning the girls' trips, like planning the group trips, like, planning the social activities. I have these whole group chats in Houston. I'm like, okay, next month we have a golf date at this time, brunch after, everybody be on
So you
time.
like to quarterback everything.
I am.
See, I don't like that. I like just showing up.
I do. I am a quarterback kind of girl.
That's crazy. And so how does a normal day look for you?
You know,
Like a normal, not this Monday because
yeah.
Monday's a little different, but how does a normal Monday or Tuesday go for you?
Days are very busy. So I start every day with intention. So as soon as I open my eyes, I read the Bible.
Mhm.
I get so much out of that. I pray, like I get like on my knees and pray, talk to God about what I want to happen for that day. Try to operate in gratitude. That's usually between
Operating gratitude. I like that.
5:30, 6 a.m. Then by 6:30, laces on. I run almost every day. I've been a runner my entire life.
Okay.
And I don't even like it is a workout, but that's not like my real workout.
Mhm.
That's just mental clarity.
Mhm.
Get back in the house by 7:30. Chase has overslept. I'm yelling.
He said he
Chase,
overslept.
get up. He unplugs the Alexa like it is your alarm. So
Right.
wake Chase up. I decided, like, even though I wanted to be an entrepreneur, that parenting is my number one job. So
Yeah.
I take him to school every day. I pick him up, and like that time together is important to me.
Right.
On the way to school, we're either listening to a TED Talk or listening to a sermon or he's reading a book. And then he goes to school, I go to clinic, I pick him up from school, and then I have it on my schedule, chasing mommy time. And so that can look different. Sometimes we're just vegging out on Netflix. We
Mhm.
golf together.
Right.
So, sometimes I just ask him, what do you want to do? We work out together. Like I'll bring him to alpha training. So after school, and then I wind up for the next day, usually checking some emails, responding to some business texts, and then, wind down. That's
So
it.
what time you usually are in bed?
Usually for me, actually, I go to bed pretty early because I like to get my 8 hours of sleep in. So
Okay.
it's going to be anywhere like 9:30, 10:30, the latest. Like I need my full 8 hours to
Right.
operate.
I ain't mad at that.
Mhm.
And so what are some of your personal non-negotiables when it comes to like your overall well-being or your work-life integration? Because it's never a balance.
Let's see. Like for me, non-negotiables are making sure that like I'm happy. And
Mhm.
I know that sounds like there's that saying, what do you want to be when you grow up? And if you're like successful on paper and like life doesn't feel good,
Right.
then you need to reevaluate. So
Right.
I try to like get up, and some days are harder than others, but if I'm doing anything and I don't feel happy doing it, then I try to like that's not negotiable. Like
Right.
and even if it looks like great to other people. At one point, I was like flying to different cities every other week to speak. And I was
Mhm.
like, well, what value am I really getting out of this? Like, I'm away from my child. Like, yeah, they pay you, but is the money
Yeah.
working for you? No, not in the way I want it to be. So that really became like something that wasn't a priority. It just
Mhm.
looks good. Like, it's great pictures, but it was not bringing me the happiness and the joy I wanted in my life.
Okay. So what are your non-negotiables in dating?
Oh man, 50-50. Not going to work. Seriously. And I like to put that out there very early when I'm dating because you have money, I think there's certain men who will approach you with this okay, well, this is great. She's bad, she's pretty, and she'll pay half the bills. No, I won't. And the reason for that, there's so many podcasts out there on dating, and people want to make it seem like it's a selfish thing or women want you for your money. I feel like men operate as their best selves when they have a family to care for. And I feel like if I'm 50-50 with you, then I've taken away from you that opportunity for you to work a little harder, do a little bit more. Now, as a woman, if my man needs me to step in at any time, I should be able to do that because we all can be hurt. You're amazing plastic surgeon. Anything could happen to either of us. So I think a good woman is going to allow you to lead, and leadership includes providing. So for me, that's a big non-negotiable because I like men that take pride in that. That's how I was raised. So I want to provide for my family. I want you to laugh if I pull out my card.
Right.
Which I'm not. But if it were to happen, that should be your reaction, not oh yeah. And I mean, I've been in relationships where that was the only thing that was not. And I just felt in the long term, then we're roommates, so.
And that's a good way of looking at it, being a roommate. I think I saw that once on a podcast once, but that was, when you say it like that, that's different.
Yeah.
So how would you say, with all the success that you've had, doing the dating thing, being a single mother, a single boss, how do you even do that? How do you even make time for that?
So I don't like dating, even though it's free meal, getting to know people. The entrepreneur in me looks at everything as time and money.
Yeah, opportunity cost.
Correct. But I look at generational wealth, and I look at, earlier I said I study successful people. Most really, really wealthy, successful people are married.
Yep.
And I'm okay, Tisha, if you want to be married, this dating is kind of the precursor.
Right.
And it's mostly because most people you meet are extremely dull. And then I feel like I have to kind of lead the conversation. And oftentimes I'll just stop talking and see what happens. And they'll just kind of, I've been on a date with the doctor where I was okay, now your turn, ask some questions. And he was just
mute.
Really, maybe in off my beauty. But either way, he wasn't asking questions. So I'm very intentional about it. I get up and I'm not make sure I'm going to swipe on 10 people today. I'm going to go on at least one date this month because if you want to get to that end goal, then marriage is a part of it. I think being successful is a gift and a curse because there's a part of you that feels like you can be self-sufficient and the dating, like you said, becomes less of a priority. But if you know the end goal, you want your kids to witness love in real time, right? You want your kids to see what a healthy relationship looks like. And that
you dropped a lot of quotables, love in real time. I like that too. Yeah.
Right? So we gotta let them see it. If we want to teach them that marriage is healthy and good, then we got to work towards it. So
be an example of it. What's something that you feel like you've had to give up to grow?
So going back to the personal part, asking for help because I felt like at certain points I can do everything myself and I would just do it, even though clearly there were people around me that would probably be willing to help. So for me to grow, I had to kind of let go of this idea that you can do everything yourself and allow other people, personal and professional, to pour into me. But if you're always doing everything yourself, where's the room to pour? There's no room for people to pour if everything's already done.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense. And so, what's one thing you've that you've done to in over the past like couple of years that's new, whether that's like go to therapy or find a new way to take care of yourself that has made like a positive impact in your life, or really like de-stress you, or increase your knowledge or anything like that? Something positive that you've done recently.
Two things. I will say yoga and golf.
Okay.
So I'm a certified yoga instructor, and it's something that I did during COVID. And I found that going through the program to become an instructor, it allowed me to be more centered.
Hmm.
And then now I could also help other people and my patients through yoga,
Right.
because so many people are anxious, depressed. Like, on people come in, they want Adderall, they want Xanax, and they want something to sleep. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what you really need is yoga.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing. And then more recently, golf. And
Mhm.
for me, I'm very intentional about business. And I find that golf is where I'm most likely to meet people who are like-minded,
Right.
entrepreneurial, and also I really like doing it. And
Yeah.
it's something that I feel like I can invest in myself, and just being out there and focusing just on the ball,
Right.
hitting the ball, like everything else kind of can go away,
Right.
and I can just focus and be intentional on one thing and getting better.
Yeah, I think something that's not really talked about when you're playing golf is I was in Cali, and I went out there for New Year's, and I was playing at this really nice course, and I was by myself, and it was really pretty because all these golf courses are just very expensive parks,
Hmm.
just super pretty outside, waterfalls, and the sand traps and stuff like that. It's just beautiful, but it's like a grounding situation too. Like, you're out there with nature, you're walking around, you're feeling the breeze, and it's just like something that centers you at the same time too. And I think that's a understated thing when it comes to golf, that you're actually grounding at the same time, like getting your vitamin D and just being out with nature at the same time too. So I totally get it. I
Yeah.
totally get it.
And I've seen you golfing with the twins, and I take Chase out. And at first he's like, I hate golf, Mom.
Mhm.
And then he gets out there. He's like, show me how you hit it that far. And he
Mhm.
loves like driving the cart. So it's great quality time with your kids too.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Dr. Rowe, thank you for being here on Triggs Table Talk.
You're so
Making
welcome.
time to come to Miami. I know this is your hometown,
Yes.
but we really appreciate it, telling your story. If people want to get in contact with you, whether that's about the Honeycomb Clinic, you personally, or Boss Docs, how can they reach you?
Definitely. I'm on all social media at Tisha Rowe MD. My personal page is my personal page if you want to reach me. If you want to learn more about Honeycomb, which I highly recommend, definitely go to Honeycomb's Instagram or check out our website, which is thehoneycombclinic.com. We are growing, we're scaling. Hopefully, we'll be in Miami very soon.
Okay.
And so
I heard
doctors,
whispers.
yes. So, if you want to be a part of something that's bigger than us, we're really trying to change the way healthcare is delivered and make sure that there's more culturally competent care, top tier, available in communities all around the country. So if you're interested, definitely reach out to me.
All right, guys, with that being said, thank you for tuning in for Triggs Table Talks. I'm Dr. Wilton Triggs. Until next time.